kilometres south. The stunning, thick, crunchy salt lakes of Lake Lefroy are found within an ancient part of planet Earth. And there's no better way to experience it than aboard a land-sailing yacht, which we're told can reach 90 kilometres an hour.
If I'm travelling 90 kilometres per hour, I want crumple zones around me. Do these things have crumple zones?
I don't think so.
I think the crumple zone is going to be right here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow! Wow, wow, wow!
Yeah, welcome to Lake Lefroy. This is amazing.
Paul Day is a former assistant geologist who's been involved with the Land Sailing Club for 30 years.
Welcome to my lake.
Oh, it's great.
What a lake. Looks like an ice skating rink. So he's the perfect person to help us get our salt legs.
Keep arms and legs in at all times. And have a couple of volunteers rolling here.
Wow.
Whoa! Yeah, we're away.
High-speed sailing on hard ground in homemade yachts. What could go wrong?
This kind of feels like slalom.
How do you do this? Is it just like sailing a normal boat?
It's exactly like sailing a normal boat. It's faster because you've got lower resistance. There you go.
How fast are we going now?
Well, you just broke the world water sailing speed record.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! That was pretty close.
Time to enjoy ourselves.
Lake Lefroy is surrounded by some of Australia's oldest rocks, formed nearly 3 billion years ago. It's an ancient landscape that's changed dramatically throughout its history. So there used to be big rivers running through this part of the landscape, didn't there? I mean, it was a lot wetter a long time ago.
Yes, when you drill under the salt through to the bedrock below, you often encounter old river channels, and around the margins of the lake you often find things like limestone reefs.
So this was all underwater?
We think the water table, the sea level, would have probably been about exactly where we are now.
In fact, the transition to a landscape that's more salt than lake is a relatively new one.
The age of the lake, you're probably looking at, 100 million years type of
Whoa! Derek! But why do we get huge salt lakes here and not any, say, in Sydney or...?
Well, the situation you've got inland is that all the river systems are all draining into themselves rather than out to sea. So all the sediment and the salt that those river systems carry all ends up in one small area.
And how small is this area? Like, how much salt have you got? This is just one corner of the lake,
I believe this lake we're on today is about 250 square kilometres.
Wow!
Not so small after all. In fact, the area is large enough and bright enough to attract a different crowd altogether.
Lake Lefroy is an amazing site for land sailing, but it also serves a very useful scientific purpose. I'm here to meet with some scientists who are using the lake to calibrate their satellite, which is actually passing overhead right now.
The research is led by Dr. Karsten Laukamp from the CSIRO and includes a team that's traveled all the way from Japan. The data they collect here on the ground will ensure the information from their satellite is accurate.
Why do you use Lake Lefroy?
We choose Lake Lefroy because it's actually maybe one of the brightest lakes here in whole Australia. And so the salt lake is pretty big and it's quite homogeneous, the surface. And that's what we need because the satellite system has a very coarse spatial resolution, we say. So like 1 pixel size is like 30 meters. So it's really big, so we need a big homogeneous target.
For the next 3 days, they'll repeatedly walk across a grid pattern on the ground, measuring the light being reflected off the salt lake surface.
So you walk lines across here?
Exactly.
Back and forth, you do 4 lines?
We do 4 lines, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you're taking readings all along that line?
Yeah. Continuously we take measurements along that line and to get as much information as possible over this whole area here.
So you basically take an up-close image of the reflectance off the surface.
Exactly.
It's very detailed, very accurate.
Yeah.
And it's taking that same image, the same exact image, but from
space.
Comparing the two helps calibrate the satellite, making its information much more accurate. Whether that's studying the atmosphere for climate research, or as Karsten's done, creating a mineral map of Australia to help miners locate deposits.
But you want to find gold?
Yes, would be good, yeah.
How can you really find minerals by looking at the Earth's surface?
Basically, every material that you have, when it's hit by radiation, by the sun, for example, has a different reflectance spectrum. So if we understand what kind of absorption features are characteristic for these different materials, then we can map these. So we are actually not mapping the gold as such. We are mapping all the minerals that are formed when the gold deposit was formed around it. We actually found some gold already in the northern.
You found some
we
gold?
found some gold in the northern territories.
Using this method?
Using this method, yeah. Or the exploration we did. The exploration company used our data, our maps that we create from this satellite data, and they found a gold prospect. So it's not a mine yet, but they found some showings.
They found some gold in the Earth?
Yes.
Based on pictures from space?
Exactly.
Of the minerals around that area?
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Leaving Karsten to continue his calibration, it's time to rejoin Anya and Simon, who have taken things into their own hands.
That was just one of the best days of my life, no question. That was at least top 5 things I've ever done.
That was incredible. I don't think I've had that much fun or made that many mistakes in my life.
You guys look like Antarctic explorers.
Yeah. Well, you definitely, you've got salt crystals in your beard.
And you're so clean.
I feel like it's the closest thing you can get to flying. Are you right?
Yeah.
Got salt up your nose? Didn't you feel that when you got up on 2 wheels and you got that wind from behind and you just felt like
You
so
were
smooth?
flying.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had one wheel in the air.
I had one wheel in the air a lot, including a couple capsizes, but
Yeah.
Well, guys, how did you enjoy your sail?
Oh, man. Thank you so much.
amazing.
Our
That was
pleasure.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, before you can join the International League of Landsailing Reporters, you have to get down on your knees and lick the salt.
What about just the salt in my beard?
Just...
Oh my God. That is so amazingly salty.
So much worse.